Syracuse returns home tonight after a come-from-behind overtime win Saturday at Georgetown. Buffalo enters red-hot, winners of 3 in a row. It's a New York State matchup tonight on ACC Network Extra. Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome inside the Carrier Dome. Brian Higgins, former LeMoyne head coach Steve Evans, and quite a game tonight. It's offense versus defense, Steve. Buffalo's averaging 82 a game. The Orange only giving up 63.
Yeah, it's going to be a battle of wills today. Buffalo really wants to go with it, and if Syracuse can slow them down, it's going to be a different game for them.
And Syracuse found its offense after halftime at Georgetown Saturday because of this guy, O'Shea Brissett.
Yeah, Brissett had a half for the ages. First half, Syracuse was wondering when he was going to show up. After the game was over, I don't think Georgetown will ever forget him.
24 in the second half and overtime in the win against the Hoyas. For Buffalo, C.J. Massenberg's done it every game all year. 6 20-point games already.
Yeah, he's one of the top players in the Mid-American Conference. Can score from 3, shoots 47%, but he can hurt you in a lot of different ways out there on the floor.
Well, C.J.'s been there the whole year. He's got a new backcourt mate tonight. Wes Clark played at Missouri, transferred to Buffalo, and as we head to Aaron Fish, Aaron, he's eligible for the first time tonight.
Wes Clark will play in his first game in nearly 2 years tonight. He was dismissed from the Missouri roster in the 2016 season for failing to meet their academic standards. He's transferred to Buffalo last year but had to sit out an entire year because of the NCAA residency rule, which allows him to play after the fall semester ends. Now, the coaches wanted him for the Syracuse and A&M game, and thankfully for the Bulls, his last grade was entered at 1 p.m. today, and he was on the road by 2. Steve, as a coach, that has to be exciting to get a player of his caliber back for tonight's game.
Yeah, a lot of times coaches get told about players who can't play or are ineligible. This case, it's always a good one.
And Steve, if you're going to play, you might as well start. First game in 22 months, Wes Clark in the Buffalo starting 5. For the Orange, same 5 as it has been for the opening 10 games of the season. Orange led by Tyus Battle, who scores 21.5 points per game. Just about set for the opening tip tonight. First meeting between the Orange and the Bulls since 2001. Mark Schnurr leads our officiating crew. Balls in the air, and O'Shea Brissett wins the opening tip for the Orange. And Steve, this really figures to be a really interesting contrast to styles tonight.
Yeah, Buffalo's straight up man-to-man, going to play hard-nosed, going to try to get a lot of deflections, as we see right here.
First one already by Devontae Jordan. And Nate Oates really going to like that. It is 3rd year in charge of the Bulls. You've known him for a while, Steve. He's a young up-and-comer here in this business.
Yeah, Nate, believe it or not, when I was assistant coach, he was an up-and-coming, starting off, working our camp at Northwestern. So proud to see the job that he's done and all the work that he's put into doing coaching and being where he is right now.
Took over when Bobby Hurley went to Arizona State. Massenberg's first touch. And now a touch for Wes Clark, his first in 2 years. Finds a left wing 3 for Harris. Still scoreless. And Jim Boeheim displeased early as he's midway through year 42 here in charge of Syracuse. Kenneth Smart makes his first start of the year here, Steve.
Yeah, Syracuse is going to have to keep the ball out of the paint. You saw in the first possession, Buffalo was able to penetrate and get into the paint. A lot of drive and kicking. That's what you'll see today from their offense.
Interesting to see what Clark can do today. Again, has not played since February of 16. His first shot, no good. And the Orange, a defensive rebound. They've been one of the best rebounding teams in the country this stage of the year. Howard. Cutting Moyer. Floater, no. Jordan in transition. Clark steps.
Yeah, his puppy's got going a little too fast on that. It was the right idea, but got to put it down before you start running with it.
He's been involved a lot here early in the opening minute and change.
Well, there's no doubt. He's been practicing with the team. He feels very comfortable with the team. The only people new seeing him are Syracuse. They have no tape or anything to kind of judge what his game is, so they're kind of going to have to adjust to his game today on the fly.
Again, his last collegiate game was at Missouri, February 13th, 2016. Brissett. What a second half the other day. Cannot get started early today. Chukwu the rebound, no longer. Massenberg. Fouled by Battle. They'll call it on the floor. Brian O'Connell spotted it.
That's what Buffalo does. I mean, they're constantly going to be pestering Syracuse, trying to get deflections, leading to turnovers, and then fast break basketball. That's how they want to play.
Well, Coach Yost told us yesterday, and this goes for most teams until Syracuse gets into the league, they've not played against a zone like this, so they probably want to avoid playing against a zone like this. Massenberg, his first three. Still scoreless. Jordan, spinning. Can't finish. And Tyus Battle in his mismatched shoes finds the front court. Chukwu, nice pass to Moyer. Moyer's second chance is good.
Great pass by Chukwu inside for the big fella to find his teammate. Nice way to start the game for the Orange.
If you had Chukwu to Moyer for the first points of the game, you're the big winner tonight.
And this is what Syracuse needs to do. It's slow them down here in the zone. It's always easier to set up after and make.
Clark's second look at three, and there's his first points in 22 months.
He's not going to be shy. He scored 19 against Kentucky when he played for Missouri. So coming here to Syracuse, he hasn't gotten a shot up in 2 years, so he's going to get his today for sure.
3 years at Missouri, scored 7.5 a game. A bunch of starts as well. And another deflection like you talked about early, Steve.
Yeah, Buffalo they're going to pester the ball. They're not. There's another one, and there's the steal. This is their game.
Massenberg can't finish, but fouled again, this time by Brissett. We talked so much about C.J. Massenberg and his offense. His defense outstanding early.
Yeah, and not only does he defend, he rebounds. He's a complete player, and you know, you can't really see how fast he's playing out there. But when they get steals, they can run. They really get out and run in transition.
How about this? He's a 6'3" guard on a team that has some size, leads the team in rebounding.
And he can play, I've seen him play 1 through 4, so he's very versatile.
Free throw good there, and the addition of Clark to the lineup will maybe bump him down a slot more toward that 3 position.
And it will also just give him a chance to rest as well. It's not all on his shoulders. While Clark was out, you look at the team's record, they're 7-3 without him, and now Clark enters the team. They're only going to improve because you get a chance to rest and play with the energy that you'll see them play with. Interested to see here, there's going to be a lot of ball screens today. How Buffalo defends the ball screens and how Syracuse attacks them will be a point of emphasis to see how Syracuse scores.
Battle around the screen from Chukwu. Contested pull-up 3. Short. The Bulls run again. Clark caught in the air, but bailed out by Jeremy Harris. Clark dishes to Ikeda. Ikeda only returned to the lineup the previous time out in the win against Robert Morris. He'd been out with a back injury. So it's an evolving Buffalo 5 here in the last few games.
Yeah, and you know, I think that's one of the nice things that Coach Oates has right now is as certain players start coming into the team, his team's going to morph and change, but he likes what he sees right now.
Yeah, kind of smart back into the lineup last game. We talk about Clark back in today. They lost Dante Carruthers, their point guard, 3 games ago with a stress fracture at his foot. They hope to have him back midway through conference season. So the team yet to be whole yet this year. Howard from Moyer. Tries to return the feed to Chukwu. And finishes.
Nice finish in the paint. Syracuse has the size advantage. Buffalo's doing a good job on the perimeter. If that's what they're going to give them, then Chukwu's going to have a game.
Well, we've seen Chukwu to Moyer and Moyer to Chukwu already. Jordan now for Harris. Massenberg open 3. Brissett so strong in the glass, he leads the Orange.
Massenberg's had a couple good looks here today to start the game. And the thing that's nice about him is he doesn't really change his expression. Whether he's making or missing, he's pretty steady. So he's going to stay pretty confident that he's going to knock down the next shot.
He's normally making. He's 47% from 3 this year.
Shooters have a way of having short memories.
Our first official timeout. And the guy that hadn't played in 22 months. Welcome back, Wes Clark. back in the Dome early. 1-point lead for the visitors from Buffalo. Why don't you join Syracuse Athletics right here in the Carrier Dome for Home for the Holidays. All students, high school and college age, invited to purchase specially priced tickets to Syracuse men's and women's basketball games. That's through January 7th of 2018. To enjoy a Home for the Holidays program, students should show their high school or college ID at the Carrier Dome ticket booths to receive the special ticket offer. Quite a collection of games on that list. I think your Lemoyne ID will work, Steve. You'll pass. Get you in here for a few more.
I'm finishing up grad school right now.
I'll guarantee you'll be here on Friday. How about that when the Orange and St. Bonaventure tip off at 7. Oh, Clark has not been bashful in the early going into his return to the court. Harris feeding to Perkins just in off the bench, and Nick Perkins pull-up jumper, no good. Foul on the rebound goes against Montel McCray, who just checked in.
Well, Syracuse in a dogfight the other day with Georgetown, and here we are starting off the first 5 minutes of the game. We're finding out that the Buffalo's come ready to play.
Well, Buffalo, an easier opponent, but an easier win on Saturday. They beat Robert Morris 86-70. The Orange came from 13 down after halftime to beat Georgetown in overtime in D.C. 86-79. Tyus Battle, a career high 29. And he is fouled here by Massenberg.
One of the things Buffalo's doing when Moyer gets the ball, they're really sloughing off of him, almost daring him to shoot it. And what that does also is just changes the movement and everything for Syracuse when he has the ball.
There's that hide screen game you're talking about. Brissett on the perimeter. Another deflection. Clark has hands on it. Brissett. Moyer finishes. What effort by Brissett.
Yeah, Moyer, he might not be looking to shoot the outside shot, but he's gotten a couple in the paint to start off the game.
The Orange kept that alive, but we've been impressed by Buffalo's activity on the defensive end.
Very active hands, and usually it's Syracuse in the zone with the active hands getting the deflections. Right now, we started off the game, I bet you there's been 7 deflections that Buffalo's had to start. There's a deflection from Syracuse.
Tyus Battle the steal, and he is fouled.
I think so many times when you watch basketball, you tell kids not to reach. I'm a firm believer, don't reach to foul, but you should constantly be reaching and making plays on the basketball as a defender.
Reaching's good if it works, right?
Well, yeah, deflections lead to steals. That's what we say.
1-point game still. And none of the Orange's 3 leading scorers have found the scorebook yet today. Frank Howard, Tyus Battle, Roche Brissett. Howard looking for first points and finds them.
Great players do. They get themselves involved, and you know, Battle just made a play for himself right there. They left him kind of in a one-on-one situation on the side.
There's a reason he's scoring 21.5 a game. Harris pull up long. Perkins, put back, good.
Nice second effort for Buffalo on the boards. One of the things Buffalo's been struggling with this year is rebounding. They're going to have their hands full today, so it's good for them to get a second chance effort right there.
Battle just hit his first bucket of the game, and he clears out. Brissett, a 3.
Nice penetration and kick by Battle. You see Syracuse starting to find their rhythm offensively to get the game going.
Brissett found his rhythm from 3 on Saturday, had a career high 4 makes from deep against the Hoyas. Perkins inside again, fouled. Moyer with the foul. Well, Buffalo's been impressive getting the ball inside. You wondered how that worked against the zone, and they found their bigs a few times.
Yeah, you know, Perkins is good. He's got a nice 15-foot jump shot, but he can also step out and hit threes. As you see, you look at his size, he's a wide body. He can finish around the basket. So they may be looking to post him up a little bit, but at the same time, he can also step out, makes him a tough matchup for Syracuse.
Javon Graves enters, and you may say about Nick Perkins, oh, okay, who's this guy? He didn't start. Well, he started the first 10 games of the year, and he's averaging 14 points a game.
Yeah, and I think the thing about it is he was the 6th man of the year in the conference, So he's very comfortable coming in and giving his team a lift. And sometimes those 6 men are starters. You see sometimes when Dolage comes in for Syracuse, they have the same effect as far as the team kind of bringing them up when they get in the game.
Perkins moved back to the bench today, allowed Kenneth Smart into the starting 5 after his return from back injury. Battle. Howard now. Pull up. Jay, no good. Massenberg, another rebound from the guard position. Caught Perkins unaware, but worked out. Perkins again to work in the lane and again finishes.
Instant offense for Perkins. He comes in, they get the ball in the high post. He's a dual threat. He can shoot and he can take it to the basket.
Already 5 points tonight for Buffalo as the game has been tight the whole way so far. A lot of touches for Moyer and Chukwu already. You're right, nobody near Matthew Moyer. Brissett can't finish. Moyer and Chukwu keep it alive for Battle at 3.
Second chance basket for Syracuse.
Buffalo transition. Jordan lets loose. Can't answer. Rebound Moyer again.
Could be a shootout here. If these teams start knocking down some shots, we could have an exciting game.
Buffalo would prefer it that way. They like to get up and down. Moyer. Battle again.
Just playing a zone off of Moyer. You'll see his man is always in the paint, which gives another defender for Buffalo on penetration.
It's been clogged on the drives all game. Is again as Howard hits the deck hard. He's still down. Brissett fouled and finishes, but Frank Howard still down under the basket. The Orange opening a lead. Their star point guard down for the moment. We'll check on Frank Howard when we come back. Frank Howard on the Orange bench, hidden by his teammates momentarily, hit the deck hard as Oboshe Brissett was completing the play with a bucket. There is Frank. And Steve, well, we'll keep an eye on him, see if Frank's okay. That would be a serious issue for Syracuse if he is injured in any way, but he's coming right back on the court here.
Yeah, I think he just kind of got knocked down there and lost his breath for a minute, but doesn't seem to be hobbled in any way here coming out of the timeout.
Now the Orange, not a ton of depth or options. Howard Washington, the only other guard on the scholarship roster after Geno Thorpe left the team after 6 games. Brissett now 6 points as the lead for Syracuse 7. So we'll just keep an eye on Howard here this possession on defense, see if he's moving okay. At the moment, the answer appears to be yes.
Looks like they're trying to get that ball in the high post again. Nice contest.
Perkins swatted by Chukwu. Shot clock 5. Perkins again. Clark a 3. Cannot hit. Long rebound Howard. Pushing pace. Brissett nothing doing. Well, it's been transition for the Bulls and half court for the Orange. Chukwu has it. High-low not there. Now Moyer can't finish. And finished. Moyer again.
Second effort by Moyer. They're playing off him, but that's also giving him a chance to crash the boards. He scored all of his baskets within 3 feet of the basket on layups.
Moyer with 6 points now. Doing that damage, as Steve said, right at the rim. Jordan kicks out Clark. Another 3. Another hit.
And that's their game. They not only transition, but once they get in the half court, if they can get the ball into the paint, whether it be the pass to the high post or off penetration, Buffalo can then start playing the way they like to do with inside-out kicks and threes.
Brissett clogged in the lane. Can't finish.
A tough shot right there.
Jordan brings it up. Clark, a heat check. Why not?
Well, I guess that's why they wanted him in the lineup today.
Well, you say, okay, you haven't played a college game in 22 months. You got to be rusty, right?
Or either that, or you got a lot of bullets in your gun, ready to start firing them up.
You get off all those shots for the last nearly 2 years. Howard finishes. Strong take.
That was a tough finish by Frank. He got hit on that shot as well. So starting to battle here. You could see it in the eyes of Syracuse and Buffalo. They know that they're competing. Both sides are getting after it.
Well, Buffalo's been able to score on most everyone they've played this year, averaging 82 a game. And they aren't scoring with them in the early going.
Oh. Don't want that. Frank's got to be careful.
A second foul on Howard. So the Orange worried for a moment about an injury when he hit the deck hard. Instead, it's foul trouble that sends Frank Howard to the bench.
Yeah, and it'd be interesting to see what Coach Boeheim does. You know, with 8:13 to go, I've seen a lot of Syracuse games. He's not afraid to play people with 2 fouls in the first half. So we'll see if he brings Frank in. If Syracuse can hold it down right now with him on the bench, it's found money right now for Syracuse playing without him. Perkins again, getting that ball in the high post, taking it and finishing. Buffalo's found something. They got the inside working for him every time they've gotten him the ball at the high post.
Yeah, Perkins with 7 points now. He's impressed. Back to that spot he played off the bench last year. It's worked out in the early going. Battle. Washington's first touch as he plays with Howard in foul trouble and just zipped it into the Buffalo bench. Well, an early turnover by Howard Washington, an official timeout in the Dome. His Orange still up 3. Back in the Dome with Steve Evans. Brian Higgins here, Orange by 3. But that guy, Steve, Wes Clark, has welcomed himself back to college basketball.
Yeah, his teammates are doing a great job of finding him. He doesn't need a lot of time to get off his shot. You'll see if his feet are set and no one's in front of him, it's the same old hand down, man down. You've got to be there on the catch with this kid. You got to make him put the ball on the floor and make him do something else, because right now he's catching it and he's knocking it down.
Again, the story, a Missouri transfer would only be eligible after the first semester ended, which it did yesterday. His grades had to be in. We talked to Coach at 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. They had one of his 5 grades. By 1 o'clock today, they had them all, and here he is.
Well, the professors must have known how good he was, because he's definitely had an impact on the first half, that's for sure.
Half of Buffalo's scoring in all of their 3-point makes. And he's played the whole game on top of it. Steal by Howard Washington.
Syracuse got away with a kick on that.
Right to the rack.
Nice play by Washington right there, getting himself involved.
The Buffalo native against the Buffalo Bulls. Massenberg, Bulls leading scorer, fights Perkins, who's been very active so far. Roofed by Chukwu.
He may be the Buffalo Bull right there. He is tough.
6'8", but he's not afraid to mix it up with 7'2" at Chukwu.
Taking it right at his chest.
Moyer driving. Makes him pay for not guarding him.
And that's what they're doing. They're sloughing off him and daring him to shoot. And Moyer's doing a great job of not taking the bait. He's taking it right at him, and he's found a way to make them pay. See if Buffalo adjusts or if they continue to play defense that way as a team.
They don't adjust. He's having a career night. 8.7 boards already. In the lane, Brock Bertram for the first time. Clark to the corner and Massenberg. Massenberg the rebound, and blocked on the way up. Chukwu blocked the shot, but there was a foul.
I think the referee's calling it. He was in this restricted area, so that's why that's a block. That's more. You see right there, he's in the restricted area, and I think he called that on Brissett.
Yep.
Anytime you're in that lane, whether you have position or not, you can go up straight, but if there's contact, the referee's going to have to call a block on that play.
And you saw kind of Brissett's feet there. They were on the line, so Chukwu blocked it clean, but that was not the call. That'll send Massenberg, a 72% free throw shooter, to the stripe, where he scored his only point so far tonight. And this is something that can get a guy like Massenberg going.
Yeah, and you're surprised he's not a better free throw shooter because he can fill it up. But as a basketball player, one of the things that's good about going to the free throw line, after you knock down one or two, you start to get that rhythm, you start seeing the ball go through the net. That's not a good thing for Syracuse, because so far he's been quiet. And we've seen it before. He's had first halves where he's kind of just let the game come to him, and this would be one of those cases. Here we are 15 minutes in, 16 minutes in, has yet to really have an impact for Buffalo.
Now Coach Boeheim managing foul troubles. Frank Howard with 2 comes back in. O'Shea Brissett with 2 exits.
We haven't seen Dolce in the first half. I'm wondering if it has something to do with his injury from the other day.
He took the hard fall against Georgetown. Came back in and played, but it was a hard fall. We also have not seen Barama Sidibe, who's been banged up recently, played just 11 minutes against the Hoyas. Matthew Moyer!
Great find by Frank Howard, and just a great back cut by Moyer. Super flush.
There's another reason we haven't seen Marek Dolezaj. Moyer's having a phenomenal first half. 10 points already. Clark for his first 2. Rebounding foul, and Moyer is the one fouled.
You see the penetration here by Frank in the back cut. Right there, Moyer finishing with authority.
My goodness.
Went up there with 2 hands. Even if he does get blocked in it, he's going up strong to finish, and that's what you like to see.
Moyer doesn't miss out on the celebrations either. He's getting that in when that ball gets pounded home. 10 points and 8 boards already in the first half. Moyer has been outstanding.
So if you're Buffalo, you're picking your poison. And if somebody said you're going to have Moyer beat you, or you're going to have somebody like Battle beat you, I think that Nate Oates is going to say, I want Moyer. Unfortunately, that's what's happening.
And he's doing it so far. Moyer, a very confident half. Finds Battle. Tyus always gets his. Here's a 3. Rebound snagged by Graves. Buffalo will run with Jordan. Transition 3. Graves hits. That's the first 3 by someone not named Wes Clark for Buffalo. The Bulls just hanging around here.
Yep, and that's what they do. They can get it, rebound, they get out and run, and they'll shoot quick threes. And even though some of the guys' percentages aren't that good, they shoot it. It doesn't matter what their percentage is. If they're open, they shoot, and they play with confidence.
Moyer, an open 3. That was the ultimate Matt Moyer heat check, and it would not drop.
Yeah, he's got to remember where he scored most of his baskets today. There's a deflection for Syracuse. They're going to get on the floor.
Diving Battle.
That's some effort right there. Pick it up.
Players skidding. Frank Howard tumbling. And a jump ball. Arrow keeps it with Syracuse. Howard doesn't want to give that ball up for anyone.
Thought I was watching a Syracuse football game there for a second.
That was the old fumble Ruski. And speaking of Marek Dolezaj, there he be, entering in place of Matthew Moyer. And a warm ovation for Moyer, who's been outstanding so far.
And Moyer must have known if he makes that 3, he's going to stay in. If he misses, maybe he was tired, he'd get a little break.
Howard. And here is Dolezaj entering for the first time, the freshman out of Slovakia. Howard Washington, another freshman for the Orange.
He's got to keep his dribble on that ball screen.
Howard, double comes, feeds Dolezaj, finishes inside. Anyone at the power forward spot doing damage tonight.
Instant offense right there. Good find by Frank Howard.
See if Buffalo can answer with Jordan and Clark.
And Syracuse has made Clark put the ball on the floor the last couple times, and you see what's happened.
Howard a 3, catch it.
It's Syracuse's turn right there. The deflection, the steal leads to the transition basket. Buffalo plays that way, so does the Orange.
And a timeout called by Nate Oates and the Bulls. Syracuse has opened its largest lead. Up 9 now. 3 for Howard. Nine-point Orange lead late in the first half in the Dome. A lot, Steve, because of that guy, Matthew Moyer.
Yeah, Matt Moyer's making him pay tonight. He's been the recipient of a lot of these scrum-type plays, and then also when they slough off, he's taken it to the basket and finished. And he's done a great job here of finishing in the paint with authority.
Already a third career double-figure scoring game for Moyer. Had 11 against Toledo, 18 in the big win against Connecticut in the Garden a couple weeks back, and already 10 points here tonight for the redshirt freshman. He rests now, but has helped his Orange to a 9-point lead. Graves a three. Rebound foul. Howard was in the area. It may be his third. It is. That is big time problems for the Orange. See what happened here.
Frank's got to be smarter. I mean, there are a lot of people in there that foul could have gone on, but Frank put it in his hands in there. You could tell as soon as that whistle blew, he turned around and knew he got his hand caught in the cookie jar.
Well, you said Coach Boeheim plays guys with 2 fouls in the first half, not so much with 3.
I still remember as one of the questions I asked Coach, going back to the championship game, Carmelo Anthony picked up his second foul. I remember asking him, Coach, why did you have any thoughts about taking him out? He said no. He said he's been in that situation before. So you look at Frank in this situation. This is a great learning situation for Frank. He's got to be able to play in the first half with 2 fouls. Coach Boeheim's going to put him in a big game. He can't take him out. He's got to be able to play smarter. So this is a great learning situation for Frank.
I think Melo could have had 8 fouls, and Coach would have tried to leave him in that game if that was the case. Kickball. And Howard Washington, the freshman from Buffalo, will play in place of Frank Howard right now. And this is a good test here for young Howard Washington.
This is where Battle's going to have to step up and help his teammates.
Not been a huge Tyus Battle half thus far, 5 points. He has a way of exploding in the second half, though, doesn't he?
And he has a way of making the key shot. It's not always, you'll see here, he wants the ball. He's going to make a play here.
But a deflection by Clark. Ball out of bounds. It will stay Syracuse ball. Just 1 second on the shot clock.
They're not going to change the shot clock. I don't think there was possession. It was more of a deflection out of bounds.
Coach Boeheim was hoping.
Syracuse got to be careful in these type of situations where you take a quick shot. It could lead to a fast break for Buffalo, so you got to make sure you get back on defense.
Washington almost
Here
makes
they go.
it. And Massenburg will run. C.J. Massenburg. Perkins, awkward in the lane. Tip, halfway down. Ball knocked out of bounds and will belong to the Orange as Dolezaj mixed it up. That putback looked good by Perkins and somehow did not drop.
Yeah, I think Chukwu might have got a piece of that on the first shot.
See what Howard Washington can do in a true half-court set here. True freshman point guard.
Trying to get Battle the ball here off of some baseline screens. Just pestering him.
Now he's got it. Clark in his shorts. Forced to give it up.
Too much standing.
3 to shoot. Dolezaj aware and banked it in. Merrick Dolezaj.
Not necessarily how Coach Boeheim drew it up, I'm sure. Comes the trap.
Clark to Massenburg. Clark attacking. Lobs, but McCray not quite up there.
The idea was right. The pass has got to be down a little bit, but that's where you've got to run Clark off the three-point line. I think Syracuse has done a good job since he's gotten hot. The last few times he's been able to get out on him and then make him put the ball on the floor.
Well, Clark hit those 3 early threes, 3 out of 5. And the Orange a chance to push this lead to double figures for the first time. Turnovers huge in the game, as you can see. Well, coming up at the half, we'll learn a lot more about Eric Devendorf giving back in the Syracuse community. We'll go behind the scenes, get to know some of the Orange, and our first half highlights with Syracuse currently leading by 9. Timeout here called by Jim Boeheim. Well, it's been the young guys of late. Merrick Dolajai's got 4, and Howard Washington forced into the spotlight here with the foul trouble of Frank Howard.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird rhythm to the game.
Very.
First 8 minutes felt like it went by really fast, and now it's kind of dragging as we're getting into half. And you keep looking up at the score, and Syracuse hasn't been able to pull away, and at the same time, they're playing some funky lineups, and it's not something that you could tell. The ball movement has kind of gotten stagnant for Syracuse since Frank Howard's been out.
Well, Frank Howard on the bench with the 3 fouls. O'Shea Brissett managing 2 fouls currently. See if the Orange can't stretch this lead prior to halftime, and they do not with Tyus Battle.
A nice backdoor cut and just didn't go down.
Entry pass deflected by Brissett, stolen by Battle. Pulls back on defense. And Washington will set it up half court.
Good transition defense by Buffalo, getting back, not letting an easy basket.
Bit of a scrum again, another jump ball, and the arrow to Buffalo. These teams have been on the ground a lot tonight.
I was just going to say the same thing. I haven't seen a game where Syracuse has been on the floor as much as they have been today.
And a lot of it's been their stars. We've seen Battle and Brissett and Howard flinging themselves around. This Tyus yet to find the range today.
They're just not giving him space. When Battle has the ball, they're not backing off. They're attacking him. They're forcing him to go into the screen, and they're giving a lot of help on the screen. There's really nowhere for him to go. They got to give him space.
Goes hand in hand with a hot start that Matthew Moyer had. Here's Devontae Jordan. Massenberg looking for his first 3. Long. Rebound, another jump ball. And the arrow, Syracuse. Dolajai and Perkins tied up.
Perkins done a great job. I mean, he's been battling the whole game, and Syracuse is a little bit bigger as far as length, but he's had a pretty good nose for the ball. And you see Dolajai, he doesn't shy away from anything. I don't think anyone knows that he's a dressed-up pencil out there, but he goes right after it.
I saw Perkins there. He's 6'8", so he's not the 7'2" Achukwu or anything, but he's 250. Big boy. Brissett.
Trying to double team Brissett in the post. Syracuse trying to go something different, get Brissett going, possibly get him fouled, get to the line.
And that foul will be a block into Brissett by Devontae Jordan. And on the floor, but over the limit, a 1-and-1. It had to be a bit of a nervous second for the Syracuse bench. If that call had gone the other way, it would have been Brissett's 3rd.
Yeah, I think you got to be able to learn how to play with fouls. That's part of the game, and that's being your IQ, basketball IQ, knowing how many fouls you have, knowing time, score, situation. 31 seconds here. That's why I think Coach Boeheim's going to try to get Brissett out of the game. No need for him to pick up a cheap foul here going into half.
Brissett makes the free throw, allowing that to happen. And Matthew Moyer back in. Second difference game in shot clocks. It's not really Buffalo's MO to hold, but we shall see if they do. And looks to be the case. They may try to hold for the final shot here of the half, with the Orange up 11 in the Dome in the first meeting between these New York State foes since 2001.
Watch for a lob here or something going to the rim.
Action starts in the final 10 seconds. Massenberg scrapes the ceiling for 3, no good. Reese a rebound now. Clark beats the buzzer and hits. What a return for Wes Clark. 11 at the half for the Bulls.
Clark's definitely put his impact on the first half for Buffalo.
Well, he's back in the lineup. We're soon to hear from his head coach, Nate Oates, and the return of Wes Clark has certainly been a defining storyline at the half here today for the Bulls. The Orange, though, leading by 9 at the break. And let's toss over to Aaron Fish now with the head coach of the Bulls, Nate Oates. Aaron?
Coach, what's it like to have Wes Clark back in the lineup tonight?
It's helpful, not helpful enough, obviously, but yeah, I mean, looks like he's a little winded, but he hit those 3 threes, which helped out quite a bit. We're struggling to score, so it's good to have a guy that can score in there.
All right, close game at halftime, 9-point game. What are you looking to do in the second half?
We got to clear up. I mean, our offense is terrible. We got to do a better job getting the ball in the lane and then kicking it out. And then defensively, we got to clear up the boards. Like, their offensive rebounds killing us right now.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
All right, Aaron, a blunt assessment there from Coach Oates on the first half. Wes Clark has led the way with 11 points, but the Orange into the locker room, up 9. Halftime in the Carrier Dome. Your score: Syracuse 36 and Buffalo 27. Well, Brian Higgins back along with you, and at the half here, Eric Devendorf, former Orange star. He's been back on staff for the last year and a half with the Orange, an assistant strength coach, and recently doing some great things in the community with winter upon us. And before the game, our Aaron Fish caught up with Eric Devendorf.
So tell me a little bit about the coat drive that you put together this weekend.
Well, we had a coat drive this Sunday at the most. So I just put it out there on Twitter. And it kind of organically just kind of came together. I had 5 local organizations that helped me out with the drop-off spots: Hamilton Street Boys and Girls Club, Evergreen Pub, Terrakeet, The Most, and then I had Lacey's Tapa Bar on the north side of Syracuse. So those were the 5 locations for the drop-offs. And then, just the power of Twitter kind of took over the community of Syracuse, and all the Syracuse supporters from around the country came together and donated a lot of coats. We had 300 to 400 coats donated, and then over at the event this Sunday, we probably gave out around 300 plus. Just a lot of families who needed it within the community. So we're pretty excited to be able to help out that many people in just a short amount of time. We got it together within 4 weeks. So we're pretty excited about the outcome.
And how did you come up with an idea like this?
Well, like I said, just kind of something that I thought of. I just wanted to help out the community. Like my guy, he does a thing on Thanksgiving where he hands out turkeys and coats. So, I thought before the holiday coming up, maybe I could do something. So, like I said, I put it out on Twitter. I got a lot of response from the local community here in Syracuse, and obviously people outside as well helping. So, the outcome was tremendous. Like I said, we had 300 to 400 coats and gave away about 300 of them. So, a lot of families within the community got a lot of help.
How supportive were Syracuse fans in helping you out with something like this?
Oh, I mean, tremendous. I mean, whenever I do some or somebody does something within the Syracuse basketball family, the whole community kind of gets together and helps out a lot. And it was the same thing with this. Without the community and without the fans and the support for them, this couldn't have come together. So, it's a big up to them, and hopefully we could do it again next year.
Great. Thank you so much, Eric.
All right, Aaron, and good to see you with Eric Devendorf. Many remembered as a villainous college basketball player, the guy that jumped on the table at Madison Square Garden. Now a father of 2 and helping out the Orange community. Score at the half, Syracuse 36, Buffalo 27.
Ty's battle, shooting guard, Edison, New Jersey. Battleship, let's go with that. Battleship, I like that. The Dark Knight Rises with Bane, it's classic. That suit, with all the gadgets and everything, oh yeah, definitely, that's easy.
Frank Howard, point guard, Suitland, Maryland. I send an emoji like that one. Anything 21 Savage. When he first dropped the mixtape, the album with No Heart, and I played No Heart over and over.
Matthew Moyer, forward, Columbus, Ohio. M squared. First name Matthew, last name Moyer, numbers 2, M squared. Come on. Favorite app is probably Snapchat. You can all my teammates can attest to that.
Halftime in the Dome, Orange by 9. Brian Higgins, Steve Evans. Halftime highlights, Steve, and it begins with the Wes Clark Show welcoming him back to college basketball.
Yeah, his teammates are doing a great job of finding him when he's open, and he just got it going for Buffalo. He was the only outside threat really in the first half, and they're still waiting for Massenberg to show up.
Matthew Moyer showed up early for Syracuse, 10 points already.
Yeah, Syracuse doing a great job. Moyer's getting a lot of his baskets in the paint, and that's where Syracuse has really beaten Buffalo. Everything was inside 10 feet.
That dunk was the exclamation mark of the first half for the Orange. Two numbers stand out here, Steve. Field goal percentage, points in the paint.
Yeah, when you look at the field goal percentage, you're Buffalo, you got to feel pretty good because Syracuse could have put a lot more points on the first half against you. You're only down 11 points here going in as far as halftime. You got a chance.
It's amazing. The Orange 18 points in the paint. Barely been to the free throw line, just 3 out of 3 at the stripe so far. And the main thing to watch early in this second half, Steve, will be Frank Howard. Picked up his 3rd foul with 3:10 to go in the first half, and he'll have to avoid number 4 here for a while.
Yeah, he's got to play on thin ice right now. He's got to know that he's got 3, and 4 is definitely going to change the game for Syracuse.
Well, the normal starting 5 on the court here. We'll see for how long.
If you're Buffalo, you got to look to attack him.
They've got Clark operating at that free throw line of the zone. That's new this half. Massenberg for Jordan. Clark a long 3. And Moyer another rebound. He's been fantastic on the glass with 9 already.
Let's see if we can get for Syracuse. There they are, leaving Moyer alone again, just daring him to take it to the basket.
A wild drive, can't finish. Chukwu travels.
A great rebound. If he can't go up with it right away, the best thing he can do is look to throw it out, keep the possession for Syracuse. When he's in traffic, that's where his feet start to move a little bit and he causes the turnover.
How about Chukwu, though? He's played every minute of the game so far. That has not happened before in his Orange career.
And he's done a good job of not getting into foul trouble either.
Such a good job, he has none. Steal. The whole Orange team combines for that one. Howard advances, drives, finishes.
Nice play on both ends for Frank on that. He got the steal, he shot the gap, made the steal, brought it down, and was able to get a basket in transition.
Well, the Orange a comfortable working margin now, up 11. Turnaround jumper for Harris. No good. Well, we heard Coach Oates prior to halftime. He was not pleased with his team's half-court offense.
And Buffalo better watch it right here because Syracuse can go on a quick run here to start the second half, and Buffalo may be looking up at a score that they can't come back from.
Brissett. He finishes tough inside.
Syracuse has found something there. They found a mismatch. They tried to go at it in the first half. Buffalo's trying to double, but good thing for Brissett there making that shot.
Clark creates for Aketta Smart. Well, I've seen Clark do a lot of shooting now. Maybe at transitions, creating off the dribble was more what he was known for coming in. And
that may help Massenberg, having Clark being able to get into the paint, create something for him. Like I said, Massenberg's just been non-existent here so far as from the offensive standpoint.
Again, Moyer not guarded on the perimeter. Battle, of course, is Moyer, floater, connects.
And that's what he's got to do. If they're not going to guard him, they're going to dare him to score, take the ball to the paint, finish strong at the basket.
He's answered the challenge today, a rebound shy of a double-double. Jordan, spin move and finishes.
That was a pretty move right there. He's got a good quick spin, going from his right to left, did a good job of checking the basket for Jordan.
And Buffalo trying to score to hang in it. Down 11. The halftime margin was 9. And again, look at all the room for Moyer.
Coach Boeheim's giving him the green light.
Massenberg still no field goals. Jordan offline for 3.
Quick 3 could lead to a transition basket here for Syracuse.
Will it be from Brissett? No. Buffalo's looked better anytime they've had room to run. Jordan blocked. Chukwu's 5th. Orange transition.
Summer pickup game right now, the way it's going back and forth, getting up shots.
O'Shea Brissett like that as he's fouled. And let's go back to Matthew Moyer's offense.
Yeah, you see they're not playing him, they're playing him off. He does a good job of getting it. He might even be able to go all the way to the basket on that play, possibly get an and one, but he knows his role right now. He's got to score for Syracuse.
And O'Shea Brissett will try to score and join his fellow freshmen, both in double figures already. 11 points now for Brissett. Already at this point on Saturday, he was barely getting going, and he finished with a career-high 25.
Yeah, and you can tell that Buffalo's done a good job as far as looking at Battle and saying, we're not going to let him beat us today. We're going to make somebody else. Every time Battle's had the ball, they've done a good job of always having at least 1.5 men on him. It's just been a difficult day for him to get going. This is a good test to see if Tyus can keep his head right now and work through this, because I think we all know he's a good enough player. Question is, can he find different ways to score, getting fouled, getting offensive rebounds, getting a deflection, getting something in transition?
I'd say this is the most over-the-top defensive effort we've seen against him all season. Drive and a finish for Harris.
It's keeping Buffalo within distance. They're still not out of this game. They're a good shooting team. They have spurt ability. They have a chance. All they need is a couple of these threes that didn't go down in the first half, and this game would be a different story right now.
Again, they average 82. Only 33 now. Moyer. Now Howard, late shot clock 3. Massenberg still his only points from free throws. Team's leading scorer at 20 a game. For Harris, he hits a 3.
We have a bad shot for Syracuse on one end, leads to a transition. Bad shots are turnovers.
Everyone on this Buffalo team essentially saved the bigs. They'll shoot it.
Yeah, Jeremy Harris, the guy that just knocked down the last basket, he had 5 threes against Niagara earlier in the year, so he's capable.
Brissett can't finish, and Chukwu lost it. Buffalo hanging around here inside the Carrier Dome. Now, because of a 3 from Harris.
Welcome back to the Carrier Dome. At halftime, Boeheim said that he was not happy with the way that the Orange were playing. He said they made too many silly mistakes and that they need to correct them. Back to you guys.
All right, Aaron, thanks a lot. And I guess, Coach, that made 2 unhappy coaches at halftime here today.
And that's the way the game's been. The defense has caused a lot of turnovers, and coaches don't like turnovers. So we'll see what happens here in the second half. Who can handle the ball, who can protect it, and you know, the live ball turnovers that lead to transition baskets can be what makes the difference here this afternoon.
And not just the turnovers, the amount of deflections we've seen. Another one here. And results in a turnover and a jump ball. Frank Howard was trying to call timeout. Instead, they'll go to the possession arrow, and the Orange get the ball regardless.
It's a tough call. Tough call for an official to make when they're on the ground like that. You're trying to protect and make sure that there's not a foul in there, and at the same time somebody's calling for a timeout. That's why you have 3 officials out there. Hopefully one of them come in there with the call.
There's been a lot of that tumbling around today with bodies on the ground and hard for the officials to see in those piles.
Not a lot of space. It's like jamming receivers at the line of the scrimmage. Here it is again, we're on the floor. This time we get the timeout.
Calls timeout. So that's what I was trying to do the last time, though I'm sure he didn't really want to this time. And Frank's timeout will send us to a timeout as well. Score the same. Orange by 8 in the Dome. This young guy's enjoying the Orange up by 8. Syracuse 44, Buffalo 36. And we're not done with you yet this week. We'll be right back here on Friday night. Syracuse St. Bonaventure on the 22nd. Coach Boeheim and the Orange, the Bonnies of St. Bonaventure. Game time 7 o'clock. And Steve, that is going to be one heck of a game. Jalen Adams can go, and St. Bonaventure's for real this year.
Yeah, Mobley's a great player for them as well. And you know, there's a lot of Bona fans in the Syracuse area that will be coming out to support their alma mater for sure.
Yeah, Matt Mobley, a game-winning 3 to beat Vermont Saturday at the buzzer for his only points of the game. Dolezaj's first action of the second half cannot finish. And this is Chukwu's first time on the bench as Dolezaj entered at center. Corner 3 and a foul. Dolezaj knocks over Massenberg and he'll shoot 3.
It's one of the things with Massenberg. When he shoots, he has a tendency to kind of kick out, whether it be his leg or his arm, but he gets a lot of these. As far as coaches in the scouting report, you know Dolezaj's been told, be careful, contest without fouling, and be careful of his leg and his arm, because that's just his natural way that he shoots, and he gets a lot of 3- and 4-point plays throughout the season.
The old Reggie Miller kicked that leg out. He's got 7 points, does Massenberg, all at the free throw stripe. We wondered if the free throws would get him going. It has not yet, but he's still scoring.
And that's where, you sit here and how can Tyus Battle get going right now? He's got to do something. His teammates have got to help him, get him the ball with some space where he can attack the basket and possibly get to the foul line as well.
Well, Massenberg is 0 of 5 from the floor. All of them have been 3-point attempts, but he is now 9 out of 9 from the stripe. A 7-0 Bulls run, Steve. Suddenly it is a 5-point game.
Good players always find a way to get it back into their averages. They always do, and that's why Tyus Battle right now, this is his time where he's got to come alive for Syracuse.
Brissett can't hit the 3. Massenberg a rebound. If Buffalo scores, we'll have a 1-possession game. Massenberg got his own miss. Defense by Dolezaj. Battle. And see if Battle can get it going. And he dribbled it apparently off of Dolezaj, so says Brian O'Connell.
Syracuse got to get to the next play right now. They got to realize that Buffalo's putting a run on them. The way Syracuse can get back when they do get stops, they got to get transition. Syracuse just got to stop right there and walk it up the floor. They've got to keep the tempo going in their favor.
Let's see what the Bulls look for this time down. Massenberg, aggression to the corner. Harris, 3 short, rebounding foul on Nick Perkins.
Good battle inside there by Dolezaj. See the shot going up there, just kind of gets him across the back as he's going up.
That is the effort of Dolezaj. That foul, pardon me, was on Massenberg, not on Perkins. Massenberg second.
The other thing, by having Clark back in the lineup, it allows different people to go in and really work Howard and make it tough for him. And you see here, Frank kind of taking this possession off as far as bringing it up.
Full court pressure put on by Graves. Battle to the rack and finishes.
And that's what I've been saying he needs to do. He's got to get the ball in space where he can attack the basket, and then he can get to the foul line or get something going to the rim to get his game going.
7 points now, Tyus Battle. Jordan inside McCray.
You see Battle on this replay coming up here. He does a good job. He finally has some space where he can get to the basket. He scores through contact, probably a foul on that as well, but we'll see what happens now. Syracuse has kind of found something where they want to go back to Tyus and get him in that situation again where he has some space to play one-on-one basketball.
Corner 3 is hit. Javon Graves, a 4-point game.
Got to get a hand up on these Buffalo shooters. Syracuse just letting them get a wide open look. That's too easy.
Graves' second 3. The orange freshman, Brissett. He is fouled. Nearly a 3-point play. Well, this is what happened against Georgetown on Saturday when the Orange needed it. The freshman Brissett got aggressive. He is again right now.
He's inserting himself in the game, getting a chance here now to get a couple baskets from the foul line. What this does also, it allows Syracuse to get a little bit of a blow. When they go back on defense now, they'll have a set 2-3 zone. They need a good stop after the free throws.
Brissett is the only Orange player that has shot free throws tonight. He's 6 for 6.
With this lineup, Syracuse got to do a good job of rebounding. Buffalo's got a little bit of a size advantage inside with Dolezaj playing the 5.
Massenberg attacks that size advantage. Layup, no. Perkins blocked by Moyer, but goaltending, and then Moyer and Perkins hit the deck hard. So that was goaltending by Moyer. They count the bucket. And here's the tumble. Moyer's leg just got caught on his face.
And I don't think there was anything intentional in that, just guys playing hard, and that's unfortunate for Moyer right now. He's going to feel that, and hopefully he'll be able to recover quickly for Syracuse.
So Moyer is stretching out a whole mess of body parts as he talks with Coach Boeheim. Pascal Chukwu checks back in.
Buffalo going to a full court pressure right now. They must feel that they can really wear Syracuse down with just their relentless ball pressure. They've been the aggressor here on defense against Syracuse throughout the game.
Well, their better points of the game have been any time there has been pace. Battle once more brings it up against pressure, this time from Massenberg. Brissett, 15-footer, no good. And Buffalo ball down just 4. Massenberg still without a field goal. Graves, open 3. Another rebound attempt by Dolezaj gets the Orange the ball.
Trying to get Battle and Brissett in ball screens together, making it a little bit more difficult for Buffalo to guard.
Little hand check called on Devontae Jordan.
That's what happens when it's almost that old Georgetown mentality. We're going to foul you every possession. You're not going to call it. And that's all really Buffalo's been doing. They've really been the aggressor on defense. You see right now they got 2 guys on Howard, just frustrating him. Somebody else has got to come up, and they've got to take the pressure off of Howard. Here you are. Battle's he's got a chance to go right now.
The work on Massenberg.
Buffalo's just sitting in the paint every time he gets it. They got to give him some more space.
Pick and roll. Howard, Dolezaj, lob. Chukwu finishes.
Great pass by Dolezaj. Put it up there high. Chukwu couldn't flush it, but he came down, kept the ball strong, and finished. Nice possession.
Harris has had a hot hand this half. Now Massenberg. Too quick for Dolezaj.
Fans don't like it, but it's a foul.
Second on Dolezaj. Buffalo hanging around. 6-point game at the Dome. 6-point Orange lead in the Dome midway through the second half. Brian Higgins with Steve Evans. And Steve, it's 6 now. It was once 13. Bulls on a run.
Yeah, they've done a good job. It was a 9-point deficit at halftime. They've whittled it down to where it's 6. They've done a great job of attacking the basket, getting into the paint. And then when they've had open threes, late contests by Syracuse, Buffalo's made them pay.
Bulls a couple of threes this half, the most recent by Javon Graves. And this has become a game. We talked about it. Orange are up 13, and it didn't feel quite done yet, and Buffalo has cranked the tempo a bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's all come from Buffalo's defensive pressure. I feel like they've dictated a little bit of this game. Syracuse has to enforce their will now back upon Buffalo. Their zone needs to be active. You see their hands are down right now. They've got to pick up their intensity and start getting some deflections themselves.
Massenberg finally hits his first field goal, and it's a 3-point game.
Good setup by Clark as well. Clark's right up on the ball here, getting a deflection. His hands are all over Howard.
Howard's been harassed the whole game, this time blocked by Smart. Out of bounds, apparently off Howard.
See, great penetration here by Clark. They're getting into the paint, drawing some defense, allowing a little bit of time, and then finally, Massenberg's knocked down a 3, and that's a good sign for Buffalo.
Another 3 would tie it. Instead, inside to Perkins. Up strong and finishes.
Good strong move right there by Perkins, taking it right at Chukwu's chest. We got ourselves a ball game.
1-point game and tons of time left. Battle trying to get going. There's second half Tyus Battle. Long 2.
Got to get back, and they got to get a stop right now if you're Syracuse. No chance to sit there and feel good about yourself. You're in a ball game.
Still a 3 with tie.
They know where Massenberg is, just hit the last one.
Instead, again, inside to Perkins. He was fouled on the floor prior to the bucket. Foul on Chukwu, his first.
You start making some threes, you see here, you start opening up the floor for the middle. You knock down that last three, Syracuse start worrying about the shooters. Now they're going inside. They got a good inside-outside attack against the zone.
That's that offense from Perkins we saw in the first half. He's up to 11 now. And apparently, Clark on the inbound stepped over the end line and turned it over.
Ticky-tack turnover for Buffalo. Wasted possession.
I guess that's the first sign he's had that he hasn't played in 22 months.
Get away with that in pickup games.
Yeah, I don't think they call that in practice, right? About halfway done, second half. Orange up 3.
3 guys on Battle coming off that ball screen.
Howard. Tyus with Massenberg's long arm in his face. Battle. Rockets to Chukwu. Ball loose. And touched on the end line by Graves.
Tyus got up in the air there, really didn't know where to go with it. Lucky he didn't turn it over.
Just 5 on the shot clock.
Battle was able to get a back door on him earlier. See if he tries for it again here on this play.
For Chukwu, Howard, shot,
hit,
fouled. That'll work. Kenneth Smart's first foul.
Never want to foul a jump shooter. Nice play by Syracuse. They know with 5 on the shot clock, you got to get something off quick. Nice little wrinkle, quick handoff to Frank Howard. Now he's got a chance to get 2 at the foul line.
Got him right on the shooting elbow. And Howard will be the first person not named O'Shea Brissett to take a free throw for the Orange.
Here we go.
This Buffalo team continuing to showcase their depth, and it seems to be helping them out here after halftime.
And you kind of wonder about that Georgetown game and the comeback and the overtime and, you know, kind of traveling. And, oh, well, we got Buffalo.
Howard misses both. Frank played 44 minutes on Saturday. Tyus Battle all 45. O'Shea Brissett all 45. Clark. McCray. 3-ball long. Perkins and finishes.
That's a man's game down there right now. And right now, Perkins is taking some people to school.
He's a man. He's 250 in there. Orange just up 1. Last time they were up 1, Tyus Battle scored. This time he's stripped. And Dolezaj fouls McCray.
Just looking at Syracuse's body language right now, this is where you need a team to start coming together. We need to see some leadership. Just looking out there, Frank's really got to start bringing this team together as the point guard. He's telling them to calm down right now. It's a 1-point game. There's 9 minutes. There's a lot of time left. You got the crowd behind you. You got to start playing defense. You can't let any easy baskets for Buffalo.
Buffalo led by 3 early. They have not led since. Any score here would give them the lead, and it's Wes Clark. Buffalo has come from 13 down, and they're in front. Complete opposite of Syracuse at Georgetown Saturday.
Good timeout by Coach Boeheim. Got to settle the team, let them know there's a lot of time left, and they've been in this situation more than once this year.
Well, the Orange down 1, and it was Saturday, Steve. Syracuse was down 13 with a little bit more than 10 minutes to go, and they came back and rallied and won in overtime. Buffalo was down 13 early stages after halftime. They've already come back.
Yeah, it was, you know, Buffalo's done a great job here. They've just kept playing their game, and offensively, it's starting to come to them. Defensively, it's kept them in the game. Now offensively, they're starting to put the inside, the outside, and they got different people. It's not like you're just worried about whether it be Perkins inside or whether it be somebody like Clark on the perimeter, but now you got somebody like Massenberg who you know is going to show up big for a game, and he's just starting to get it going here in the second half as well.
This is Buffalo's first lead since it was 5-4. Orange led ever since. There were no ties. Buffalo now back in front with 8:51 to go in the game.
Buffalo's just in a, right now it's Dolezaj that they're playing off of. They just always have Dolezaj's man in the paint as an extra helper defensively. It's a good strategy for Buffalo. but Dolce's going to have to step up, or maybe you bring Moyer back into the game and see if he can kind of duplicate a little bit what he did in the first half.
Foul off ball on Javon Graves. Battle could not get free. Instead, Brissett. Howard for three. Hits.
Same play they ran. This time Frank got a three, knocked it down.
I wondered if the veterans would heat up after halftime. Frank, finally a field goal in the second half. And a three ball for Nick Perkins. He's been doing it inside. Now he takes it outside, and Buffalo back in front.
And it's amazing what momentum and feeling good about yourself can do. He can knock down threes. He's a capable shooter. Shooting right now 36% on the season.
Howard fouled by Clark. That's the 7th team foul already on Buffalo. So Frank Howard will head to the line for a 1-and-1.
With the way Buffalo's playing so aggressive, this is giving Syracuse an opportunity to get some baskets while the clock stopped, with a chance to rest so they can set their defense, but they have to make the free throws.
Well, this could loom large. The bonus with more than 8 minutes to go. Howard, though, just missed a pair. And misses again. Brissett, though, the rebound.
Great offensive rebound.
And a near steal, and it was by Graves, and he is fouled by Battle. Or no, the foul's on Graves. Fouling Battle. Looks like Tyus lost on contact as we check out what happened.
And a loose ball right there. Battle's going up. He got poked in the eye coming off of that. Aggressive basketball, but you got a foul, and Tyus can get that contact in.
It says a contact wire. This is a bold move, going no saline solution here to get that back in the eye.
This is.
I'll give him A+. That's good work right there.
It's not in yet, unfortunately.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
Well, they'll let him go get a little saline.
They
on
will,
the
and he should. He should take his time right now. The last thing you need is to go struggle putting the contact in and shooting with a foggy eye. You don't want to do that.
Yeah, I'd say Tyus is pretty good, but one-eyed free throws don't seem necessary. There's Orange trainer Brad Pike with the saline, but Tyus says, I got it. Not the most sanitary procedure ever, but he'll shoot the free throws.
He must not have had him in this morning when he picked his shoes. He had 2 different colors. He didn't know it.
Yeah, those came out of different boxes. Hit the free throw, though.
Got every kid in Syracuse now asking their parents for 2 shoes for Christmas, not just one. Not just one $200 pair.
Tyus hits a pair with his eyes back in. Orange back up by 1.
Nice to hear the dome rumble a little bit.
Crowd getting on their feet.
Still trying to get inside here to Perkins. That's the first option.
A Clark 3. Orange ball. And we are going back and forth in the dome. Less than 8 to go. 1-point game. It's a shootout from deep. Jamming out to a tight game in the dome. Orange by 1. With Steve Evans, Brian Higgins here. And how about this, Steve? Buffalo had 27 points at halftime. They've already scored 29 here in the second half.
You know, they average 82 points a game, and when they've scored over 70, they're 7-1. So the first half, it looked like this is a game that's starting to fall Syracuse's way. Second half, you start looking up at the scoreboard, and you say if the magic number is 70 for Buffalo, they're starting to get closer.
Buffalo scored more than 80 7 times. The Orange have held opponents to fewer than 70 7 times. It was a Syracuse style in the first half. Buffalo's after halftime. They're outscoring the Orange by 8 since the halftime break. Where will the Orange turn for half-court offense?
Chuku on the roll right there. They missed him.
Brissett late shot clock.
That's a foul. Nice take right there by Brissett, getting into the paint, getting to the free throw line. That's where he's made his living here in the second half.
Foul on Massenberg.
And just a clear out situation. Brissett does a good job taking his head to the rim, getting contact, getting the ball up on the basket, on the square. Sure, Coach Boeheim would like to see him finish some of those and ones, but he's got the opportunity here to add to his numbers at the foul line.
Leading the Orange in scoring right now. 15 points tonight, one of 4 in double figures for Syracuse.
Been able to get it at the foul line, find a different way to put his points in the column for Syracuse.
9 of his 16 from the stripe. He's not missed a free throw tonight. Still a one-possession game. Jordan got past Chukwu, and the ball wedged into the basket. Jump ball keeps it with Buffalo.
Somebody better tell Perkins he's on his way down.
Don't often see this one.
Yeah, a little wedge action here, getting it up there. Hyper elite basketball.
There's some branding for you. That's why I put the camera up there to wherever the ball gets stuck. Perkins for another 3. Chukwu knocked down. Jordan for Harris. Jordan reversing, scooping layup is good. And again, it's a one-point game.
Did you say Michael Jordan or that way up and under? All he needed to do was stick the tongue out.
Devontae steals it for the lead. That's Frank Howard's 4th. He had no choice.
And Howard sneaky like that. He just scored, feeling good about himself. Then he gets the steal. And then if Frank's going to go up, I don't know in that situation. He's got to be smart. He's going to get the basket, get the foul. He's more important playing for Syracuse rather than being on the bench.
No one has gone to the scorer's table with Howard picking up his 4th. First 3 came in the first half. He played every minute here in the second half and had not picked up 4 till now. Jordan tied the game with the first. That Buffalo again can take the lead.
Frank's just got to be smarter in that situation. It's you know, your pride is hurt. You got the ball taken from you, and then you just made it worse for your team because you lost your head.
Devontae Jordan, a 4-0 run. Contact to the backcourt, and that time against Jordan.
Jordan's going to put him to the line. That's not a smart play on his part. He's kind of getting in a little bit of a one-on-one battle with Frank, and you know, he's gotten into Frank's head a little bit, but Frank's also gotten into his because he's at the line with a chance to score.
10th team foul, double bonus. Howard's 0 for 3 this half. 2 shots here.
It'll be really important for Frank Howard to be able to play in this game, the last 6:42, without picking up that foul. The way Buffalo plays and the way this game has gone so far, I could see somebody losing their head. Loose ball, ball on the ground, some phonetic type of play happening. Frank's just got to be really smart into the game.
Well, remember back in the first half, that's how he picked up his 3rd. Massenberg in a 1-point game. Crowd finds its voice. Clark in his first game in 2 years. Massenberg for the lead. Perkins a rebound. Punched by Brissett.
Great block by Brissett, keeping it alive. Syracuse got to look to run.
Battle. So often takes over these games, nearly stripped. Dolezaj, Howard, a cutter's Chukwu, and he is fouled.
Nate Holtz looking for the travel on that play. Not going to get it.
So Tyus Battle on the deck.
I think when Syracuse does get a transition opportunity, they need to take advantage of it. I don't know if fatigue with Battle, getting a little bit tired here in the second half, but he came up with that ball. I really thought he should have went with it, with a chance to attack the defense before it gets set. When Buffalo's been able to set their defense, it's been a different story for Syracuse to try to get something going in the half court.
Saw Wes Clark walking to the bench with a towel. Looked like he had some blood on his hand as they clean up the sideline with the gloves and all that. So Clark is out for the moment. In his first game back, a little nick.
It's on his shooting hand too.
And Tyus Battle limping around a bit in the background. They were both involved in the same collision. As
Might
you
have
said,
some blood on his jersey. Probably have to get something to get it off.
got to use that if he's got the blood.
Yep.
Looks like there may have been a little splatter on his right hip, right thigh. Here they are.
There's that loose ball.
It looked like Clark went into Battle's leg, and his hand is cut up as well. So both guards with blood.
Need a fight doctor here right now for this game.
The trainers on both sides. There's Andrew Blizz for Buffalo, has the gloves on. Howard a little hitching, or Battle, pardon, a hitching his giddy up back on the court. Clark still out of the game, getting patched up. And Chukwu had to wait for his 2 free throws. Pascal improving, but still just 45% at the line.
Yeah. Just one of those things with him. You're just going to have to live with at Syracuse and know that he's working at it. He's trying to get better, but for somebody that big, it's not as easy as it looks.
Gets one. 2-point game. Final 6 minutes here in the Dome. Jordan. Harris kind of got it started this half with that 3. Now Graves. Late shot clock for Buffalo. Perkins banks it home. Tied again.
You can tell Buffalo's been in a lot of close games. They know who they want to go to. They're looking to go into Perkins. They're looking for Massenberg. That's what they're doing. They're moving the ball. They're getting the ball to the right person at the right time.
Perkins, 11 of his 18 have come after halftime. Dolezaj, Brissett drives.
To the basket.
And will they count the and one?
He's made a living in the second half of attacking the basket on the closeout. He's been able to get by the initial defender and take it all the way nice and hard to the basket. You see a great move here, a little Euro step with a finish. Coach Boeheim's got to like that. Anytime you see him finish going to the basket, that's a good sign for Syracuse.
The smile as O'Shea Brissett got up. A chance for 3 now. A perfect 10 out of 10 at the line for the freshman.
Battle's struggling a little bit. You can tell he's still a little stiff moving, but nothing's going to keep him out of the game.
Jordan guarded by Battle. They want to get it inside to Perkins. He's been unbelievable. Jordan instead drives. Shot altered by Chukwu. Howard runs.
Got to be smart here, Frank.
And they are
good decision. Good decision. They got to look to push, but they can't be making bad decisions and going too far with it.
They can roll. Now Dolezaj. Stuck. Finishes over the top of Harris.
Did a great job of collecting, gathering his body, and made a great finish there for the young freshman.
Massenberg, cutter, and Graves finished through Chukwu.
Nice find, great back door by Graves. Good finish. Chukwu tried to contest just a little bit late.
Chukwu has 8 blocks tonight, nearly his 9th. Howard, a tough pull-up.
Don't know if that's the shot you need right there from Frank. Syracuse did a good job of crashing the boards and got a chance right now for a second chance. Buffalo's got to watch Frank Howard off of this out-of-bounds play. He scored twice now. He's gotten fouled, and he's hitting a 3 on the quick handoff back to him.
Howard scored a couple times off inbounds. This time finds Dolezaj. Can't finish. Perkins rebounds.
He finished the tough one. He missed the easy one.
For the tie. Massenberg. A patient Buffalo attack now. Massenberg, just 1 field goal today, but has 12 points. Perkins for the tie. Howard the rebound. Possible numbers with Battle. Leaves it off. Tyus blocked by Perkins. Stays Orange ball. Don't go anywhere, folks. It's a one-possession game between these two New York State teams in the Dome. Back at the Dome for the stretch run. Syracuse by 3, 67-64 over Buffalo. And Steve, it's close because Buffalo refuses to go away.
Yeah, they're playing with great energy, great effort. You see them battling here on the boards, finishing. They're taking it to Syracuse right now, and they're not going away. And I think that's the thing you got to commend Buffalo for. They're a solid team out of the MAC. We knew that going in today. But when you see the different weapons that they have, you can see why this team may be playing in March.
We saw 4 different players score in just that little segment of the second half. We've had 4 ties, 6 lead changes after halftime. Orange ball and a turnover. Here's Clark. Massenburg ahead. 1-point game.
Syracuse just tried a different play out of bounds. They missed the opportunity for the lob, but the turnover led to the easy breakaway for Buffalo.
Another steal. Here's Clark. Buffalo back in front.
Been Buffalo's pressure all day on the Syracuse guards. Deflections leading to steals, breakaway layups, and they're not going away. You see that hand right there, waiting for Frank's crossover.
Orange have turned it over 13 times, but Howard answers.
Big time shot by Frank Howard.
How many big shots have Howard and Battle already made this season? Final 3 minutes. 2-point game. For the lead. Massenburg short. It went over the backboard. Orange ball.
That's the guy you want shooting if you're Buffalo. Best shooter taking a wide open shot with a chance to take the lead.
Massenburg's got 14 points tonight, but a shocking just 1 out of 7 from 3. This is how fast it happens.
They can go. They can go. They get a steal, they're gone.
Here's Howard again. Howard's been involved, good and bad, in everything that's happened since our last time out. 2 turnovers and the big 3 to retake the lead.
Got 10 on the shot clock here. Just going to clear out here and let Tyus do his thing. Defensively, they're not going away.
And a foul on Buffalo. It's Jordan. And he's done.
You know what? Jordan's played his tail off. He's done his defensive presence today on every ball screen, just trying to get over and just pester Syracuse guards. He's made all of his fouls count.
Dante Carruthers, the main defensive guard for Buffalo, out with a stretch fracture at his foot. He's 2 weeks into 6 to 8 weeks of recovery. Devontae Jordan kind of had to pick up that role, and man, he guarded tough tonight.
Yeah, and he stepped up too. I mean, I think you could look at it, you're going into the game and you're bringing in Wes Clark, and all of a sudden, well, where are my minutes? What's my role? He didn't have his head down today. He came out ready to play, and he's had an impact on the game.
He'll be replaced by the freshman Javon Graves.
Now, this would be a situation where you look at somebody like Clark, who hasn't been with the team, hasn't been in a lot of close games with these guys. Who's going to take the shot? Who are we looking for? He's been in practice, but it's a different story when you get into games with 2:13 to go playing in the Dome.
He's been practicing with the team for a year. Eligible for the first time tonight. You know who's taking the shots for Syracuse. Tyus Battle, 2 free throws.
And Buffalo's done a great job. If somebody would have told you before the game with 2 minutes to go that Tyus Battle would be taking the 4th most shots for Syracuse in a basketball game, something must have happened.
The scoring load has been balanced tonight. 4 in double figures. Orange by 4. Harris. Now Clark. Feeds inside. Perkins. Triple teamed. Traveled.
Great double team by Dozier getting down there, just taking away the spin back to the inside.
Nate Oates did not appear to like that.
Syracuse is going to see some pressure here. They're going to have to take care of the basketball. Not much of its zone pressure, just going to be man-to-man, but they're going to be right on that ball. They're sitting on Frank's crossover.
Orange have turned it over 7 times this half already. Howard turns the corner and finishes.
That's too easy if you're Buffalo. Simple ball screen. They've done such a good job all night to let him go all the way to the basket. That's just unacceptable with a minute and a half to play.
Harris along 3. Big rebound Brissett, but traveled on the way to the deck.
Good rebound, just tough coming down in traffic. I don't know if Nate Oates wants Harris taking that shot. Here's the ball screen. They did a poor job defending that Buffalo. He got no help rotating from the weak side. Let Frank just go get an uncontested layup. Can't have that happen with 2 minutes to go.
Final 90 seconds. Perkins nearly turned it over. Got it back. Can't finish. Brissett this time handles the rebound. Buffalo scored 4 straight points off 2 turnovers out of the under 4 timeout. The Orange had a 7-0 run since, and Tyus Battle called for a push-off.
They've been up on Tyus all game long without giving him any space. It's not a bad call. He's got legal guarding position. He's moving, and Tyus doesn't even have to put the ball down. He can hold on to that ball. He can let the shot clock go. He starts dribbling and gets a guy that close. Buffalo's been looking for those charges all game. They finally got one.
Buffalo calls timeout. Well, I've seen the Orange handle close and late situations well all year, perhaps none better than this past Saturday in the come-from-behind win at Georgetown. And here they were, down a point, Steve, 2 minutes ago. Suddenly they're up by 6.
They have a way of doing that, don't they? You start to look at this time of year, all these games Syracuse has had, they've had a tough, really good preseason schedule. They played good teams. They've been in close games, and somehow they found a way to form an identity. And what they are is a team that doesn't go away. Unfortunately, they're playing a team, Buffalo today, that kind of has that same identity. They're not going away either, and that's why we have such a good ball game.
Well, Buffalo was picked to win the East Division in the MAC this year. The MAC is always a good league. Western Michigan picked to win the whole thing. And this is a game that could resonate down the line for both teams.
Yeah, it's going to be a good game, I think, for either team by the end of the season. Looking at Buffalo, they're still going to have to do well in their league. Syracuse is going to have to do well in their league. But when you look at that selection Sunday, and they always start looking at those games, and they circle those non-league bad losses, I don't think this is going to be a bad win or a bad loss for either team when it comes down to it. These are two well-coached and obviously well-prepared teams to be playing in March.
And because of that, we've had a great game tonight. 6 points now as we close in the final minute. Massenberg got knocked down, missed the shot. Rebound, Howard.
They wanted that foul on the 3, and they didn't get it that time.
Well, you talked about earlier, Steve. He tries to draw him.
Got to watch the push-off here, Frank. Got to stay in the game, got to be strong. Need some help from teammates.
And a foul.
Frank started off the second half. He missed, I think, his first 4 free throws. Now he's at the line here with 48 seconds to go with a chance to extend the lead for Syracuse.
And Javon Graves fouls out with 48 seconds to go. The second guard to go following Jordan out of the game. 74-68, 48 seconds to go. See if the Orange have just enough in the tank to finish out another one.
I thought Buffalo came out of that last possession with a really good play to get their best shooter, Massenberg, an open shot in the corner. He didn't knock it down, and with his leg kick that he has kind of in his shot, there was some contact on that, and it good Syracuse defense getting out on it, but Buffalo couldn't have had 2 better looks here down the stretch with their best player getting some 3-point shots.
Howard, the free throw shooter, suddenly he has 18 points now with that make. Missed the second. 7-point game.
You want to make this a long possession if you're Syracuse. Defensively, you want to play solid, make them take time off the clock. Make them make time.
Harris checks his feet, hits the 3. Timeout, Bulls. Second 3 of the game for Harris, and just when it looked like the door was swinging closed, it's a 4-point game again.
Amazing what those second shots will do for you. You get a chance. Harris does a good job of knocking down that 3. It's not necessarily the guy you want shooting the ball, but he's open and he's in rhythm.
Here's the last bucket for Buffalo.
Just a hustle play right there. Nice look, uncontested. Syracuse has got to close out the possessions in this type of game. They had the first shot's not the one that beat them right there. It was the second shot that gave up the 3. Their first shot defense was good, but they missed box outs, giving Buffalo a chance for a second chance opportunity, and they made the most out of it with the 3.
What now if you're Buffalo down 4 here?
Down 4, you're going to have to get up. You're going to have to pressure Syracuse, and at some point you're going to have to foul, probably right over half court. But if they can get a steal or any type of deflection here against Syracuse, they've had some success against Howard and Battle when they put it on the floor.
Brissett to inbound, finds Dolezaj. They do not foul Dolezaj, instead Brissett.
And that's a mistake on Buffalo's part. And Dolezaj, as soon as he gets the ball, you want to foul him, make him as a freshman be in an uncomfortable position. Brissett, on the other hand, freshman, I would say a little more comfortable from the standpoint that he hasn't missed from the foul line today.
And has shot 10 of them. And came in mid-70s percentage-wise, where Dolezaj was just 66%.
It's nice to have 2 shots as well. You saw that early foul getting into the 1-and-1 so early for Syracuse in the second half. Here you are in this situation with a chance to shoot 2 instead of a 1-and-1 is a good feeling for Brissett, is sure.
A third career 20-point game for O'Shea. They've come in the last 3 Orange games consecutively. He's got 21 now, Syracuse by 6.
Looking to get Massenburg a 3 possibly.
Clark instead drives, can't finish. Brissett the rebound, and is fouled. Another huge game for the freshman from Canada.
You could feel a bit of the air temperature in the dome change with that rebound. You know, I didn't know as far as Buffalo getting in there, going for a quick 2 or 3. Doesn't really matter. You want to get something quick going to the basket, so you can't really fault them for what they try to do offensively.
Calm as they come, this freshman. 22 points now for O'Shea Brissett. He had 25 against Georgetown Saturday, 24 in the second half at overtime, 20 the game prior against Colgate.
Big key to the game as well was Frank Howard picking up his 4th foul with 6:46 to go and staying in the game and not picking up that 5th.
Corner 3 for James Reese, he hits. 5-point game, but only 11 seconds left.
Buffalo doesn't go away, do they?
No, they just keep on coming. Somehow in this game where they had scored 27 points at halftime, they got 74 on the board now.
74, 70 was their number. It doesn't look like it's going to hold true to them as far as getting over 70 and getting the win, but the tempo of the second half definitely favored Buffalo. Syracuse was able to take the punch and respond and find a way to win against a very good Buffalo team.
Well, here is Buffalo. Look at this. Thursday, they're here in Syracuse today, Steve. Thursday, they got to get to Texas to take on a top 10 Aggie team, a bit of a homecoming for C.J. Massenburg, who's from Dallas.
I'm sure they're taking a direct flight right into the campus, right? Isn't that what they're doing?
It's either that or 6 a.m. commercial out of Hancock tomorrow morning.
So you're telling me Buffalo is taking commercial?
That is what I'm telling you. As they got to get themselves down to Texas for Thursday night at 9 o'clock. Timeout by Brissett, who could not find someone to inbound it to. But talking to Coach Oakes, he says he loves for his team to play these games. Syracuse, a top 10 Texas A&M team, to challenge themselves heading into MAC play.
Yeah, and you know, when you get in the league play, it's different. Everybody knows everybody, the scouting reports and the rivalries that take place. But this type of atmosphere and going and having the opportunity to play against Syracuse, ACC, these are things that, you know, Buffalo is not going to back down against these type of teams. And if they have the opportunity to play a team from the ACC or Big Ten, whatever it may be, in the NCAA tournament on a neutral floor, things change because you know the home court helped Syracuse playing in this building, and Buffalo took them right to the wire today.
There's your happy holiday RPI schedule for Buffalo here this week. And this is a team that's been to the NCAAs recently. 2015, when Bobby Hurley was in charge. Now he's coaching third-ranked Arizona State. In Coach Oates' first year, they went back as a 14 seed and nearly beat Miami in the first round. So they have recent experience.
And they had great looks down the stretch here today. They had 2 open looks from Massenburg. He had a chance to knock him down and just didn't go in for Buffalo. And you know, you get your best player a chance to make shots to win the game. You can't ask for anything more than that. I think Nate's going to be proud of his team. Obviously, the new person coming in Wes Clark, stepping right into a role and making an immediate impact has been good for Buffalo. Syracuse is going to have to get the ball in quickly here. It looks like Chukwu's open, but you know they're going to foul him as soon as they get it right back to Brissett. Smart play.
Same thing as they did with Dolezaj a couple possessions ago. Well done by Chukwu. And once more, O'Shea Brissett will march to the line. Syracuse has lived at the line in the second half, 15 of their last 24 points at the stripe, and that includes many before they became these intentional fouls.
And you know, and that's, you know, obviously Buffalo played very aggressive defense all game. Their hands were on Syracuse all game. At some point, you're going to start going to the free throw line, and we're seeing it right here.
We talked at halftime how it was odd. The Orange were playing most of the game in the paint, and they'd shot only 3 free throws. Well, they've shot 28 now. Yeah,
they were scoring in the paint in the first half. Now they're getting it from the foul line. So many different ways to skin a cat and win a game, for sure.
Brissett, for the second straight game, matches his career high with 25. Final shot, and that does it. A game effort by the Bulls, but the Orange hang on for the 7-point win and move to 10-1. Final score: Syracuse 81, Buffalo 74. So a 7-point win here, Steve, and this was impressive how the Orange hung on down the stretch.
Yeah, I mean, your best player was, for all intents and purposes, taken out of the game. Buffalo did a great job in their game plan of making Tyus Battle work for everything and not giving him anything. And he didn't get anything all game. So it forced Syracuse to have other people score. It was Moyer in the first half, and then obviously in the second half, Syracuse did a good job of getting to the free throw line with O'Shea Brissett.
O'Shea Brissett finishes the game 16 of 16 at the line, a career high matching 25 points. He had 8 rebounds as well. Frank Howard was also huge after halftime. Frank finishes today with 18 points for the Orange. And right now, Frank is standing by with our Aaron Fish. Frank?
I'm here with Frank Howard, who had 18 points on the night. Frank, at halftime, Coach Boeheim said that he was not happy with the silly plays that were happening. How did you respond to this good Buffalo team?
They did a great job pressuring the ball. You know, they turned us over a lot tonight, you know, especially at the guard spot. So, you know, it was kind of rough, but we got through it, tried to fight through adversity, you know, we got the win.
And how important are these wins when you're heading into almost playing in conference play?
Yeah, that's all that matters, you know, is the win. You know, we want to forget about the last play, come down and just try to make the next best play.
Great. Thank you so much, Frank.
Thank you, Aaron. Big game today for Frank Howard, 18 points. Our next broadcast comes on Friday as Syracuse hosts St. Bonaventure right here in the Carrier Dome at 7 o'clock. It's going to wrap things up for Steve Evans and Aaron Fish. I'm Brian Higgins. Again, the final score, Cuse 81, Buffalo 74. To watch this game on replay, as well as other games in our family of ESPN networks, log on to watchespn.com.